Hello and welcome. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of February 2016. My name is Chris Ellis. This is the World Crypto Network coming at you with another Bitcoin full node update. And it is official. Today, the Bitcoin Core team have released version 0.12 of Bitcoin. And we have already, as you've been seeing in the past shows over the last few weeks, been running Bitcoin 0.12. And we have been testing it out, so it's no surprise to us, but it is now officially released. And of course, the most prominent feature is the signature validation using the new library, which has been a lot faster. I've got a full node running in the other room, which is running Jesse Light, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute, but it's basically updated the whole blockchain. We're only about a few weeks away from completion, and it's taken the Raspberry Pi about 4 or 5 days to do that, whereas it was taking 4 or 5 weeks before using version 11, Bitcoin version 0.11. So we also have some new parameters to reduce the upload bandwidth on your Bitcoin node. This will be especially useful and was one of the primary reasons why I was waiting for this release before shipping the full nodes into developing countries, particularly those regions which have bandwidth constraints and limits. So this is actually a big plus, and hopefully Steve will be able to show us that in just a minute. And also we've got the memory pool limiting. I can show you the new GUI as well in a moment, which actually gives you real-time statistics on the current number of transactions and the memory usage of Bitcoin itself. And you've then got the controversial opt-in replaced by fee, which at the moment only works within the command line interface. It doesn't exist in the GUI version of Bitcoin D. So it's not, I don't think, Bitcoin QT. It's not as if merchants are going to be facing a lot of replaced by fee transactions, expecting zero confirmations to be fine. I think that will only happen in certain test cases where developers will be testing it out in Bitcoin command line interface. I don't think most people go shopping in Bitcoin using command line tools to send their Bitcoins. I think mostly people use mobile wallets. And of course, you now no longer need the RPC password that is being phased out, and so you can now run your Bitcoin D without actually having the config file. It just sets up a token like a cookie for authentication. Plus some other sort of improvements, I think, to try and help the scalability. And then we have one of the most important features, which you may have seen me on Twitter demonstrate at Barclays Bank a couple of days ago. Automatically now uses Tor and recognizes if Tor is installed. You can also use, in addition to these flags, you can use the parameter only net equals Tor. Only net equals Tor. Just put that in your bitcoin.conf file, and then it will only use the Tor network. Even if a clear IP address is available, it won't use it. And yeah, we've got some stuff on transaction fees and pruning. That's another update to this, so you can actually cut back down to 2 gigabytes in size, the blockchain. Of course, it's not recommended that everyone does that, but if you're the kind of person that doesn't require, is running out of space, maybe you're running it on your main laptop and you want to stay, true to Bitcoin Core, and you want to keep your full node up and running, but you don't have 60 gigabytes of space, you can now prune your wallet. It will take you a very long time to download the whole blockchain again if you do, so only do it if you really need that extra space. But some people's laptops, I mean, my laptop, my hipster machine right here, I have had to replace it thanks to a generous supporter who has donated some money to the project, enabled me to get a new laptop computer so that I can run Bitcoin Core and do all of my full node work on a dedicated machine, because it has been taking up too much space on my hipster device. Plus some other stuff that's like really technical, and I don't really understand it yet because I haven't had time to go through anything. And on that note, I thought I would hand over to Steve. Maybe you could show us some of these transactions, Steve.
Good evening. Yeah, I can show you some of the new config file options. Let me just screen share there with you. So we've got here some of the new mempool options. I'll just highlight the relevant parts there, and we'll walk you through them. We've got the mempool expiry. Default time is 72 hours, and you can choose for how long to keep transactions in the memory pool for now. So as we're using Raspberry Pi, I thought I'd cut down some of the defaults just to see how it performs, and we've got a new time of 24 hours. You've also then got the mempool default size. It's 300 megabytes. So again, we've cut it down a little bit and dropped to 150. And then the number of orphan transactions to keep in memory, or transactions that are linked to transactions that have not yet been mined, is up to 100 transactions. So again, cut that down to 50. Then the last one of the most important ones, I think, is the max upload target. We're now able to limit bandwidth consumption. So the default value is 0. There is no limit. But if you take a look at the release notes, it'll give you some information. It tells you it's a number of megabytes every 24 hours. So the minimum they would suggest is 144. That would allow for all the blocks to be uploaded that you receive, assuming every block's a megabyte and there's 144 blocks a day. So it's been an interesting on the Raspberry Pi. It's not quite finished yet, but as and when it is, I should be reloading it with version 0.12. As you can see, I'm just activating the best chain here on the screen.
Yeah, and that actually is much quicker now. That activating best chain
Yeah.
is much faster. And thanks to Vladimir van der Laan, I put it up as an issue. It was already an existing issue which he himself had put up, but I kind of brought it top of mind again, and I said to him, well, look, since there are all these like hobbyists now using all these full nodes, I think it would be cool if we could get an improvement on that. So it now loads up a lot quicker. This is how you get, if you're running a full node, this is how you get to the document that Steve just showed you. Use the command change directory, cd. You put in, if you're in the home directory already, so it says pi at Raspberry Pi, and then you've got this little tilde symbol. You just put in .bit, and then you can just hit tab, and it should auto-complete. And that will take you into the Bitcoin folder. You just hit ls, and that will show you all the files in that folder. Now, to edit your Bitcoin conf file, you can see there it is. You hit nano, which is the text editor, and then bit, tab, and that will autocomplete, and then just dots, C, and that will again will autocomplete with the tab key, and then you can go into your conf file. And this is where you can add your extra parameters. Now, you've got a very long version of this because I downloaded this from another website, and all of these hashes here, these are comments. So the code will not be executed if it's got a hash in front of it, and I will have to update this to bring it in line with the latest syntax changes. But yeah, you can put all of your parameters down here where Steve was showing. I mean, they can go anywhere, but it's nice to keep it, a little bit neat and tidy. So you can put all your parameters, like where your max connections are. You might want to put, how many megabytes a day that you're comfortable uploading to the network. I can also show you as well. This is the let me get the settings for the webcam here. This is the latest version of Bitcoin, and it's you can see it's working quite well there, and you can see it. We've got updates on. Let's go to manual. Yeah, can you see that? So it's giving us live updates on how many transactions are currently in the mempool and how much memory it's actually taking up. I'm about 37 hours behind, as you can see. And once that's fully synced, you can also see down here we've got a new little graphic. Let's just get the contrast down a little bit more, the brightness down. You can see we've got this little symbol here, which tells us that we are UPnP enabled. So when all of those little dots are blue, well, it was blue just a minute ago, it's gone down now, that means that you are both uploading and downloading at the same time. And you can also tell up here where it says network number of connections 9, you've got one inbound request for data. That means you have got your router correctly configured. If you're finding that the max connections that you've got is only 8, it's probably because your router is not configured. The other reason why it might be is because you haven't finished downloading the full blockchain. That's another reason. So if you're pretty much up to date with your blocks, 37 hours behind is fine. There should be plenty of requests coming in for blocks that are old, around this kind of age, that are not newer than this. But if your blockchain is like, a few years behind, you're unlikely to find too many nodes on the network. These are your peers up here requesting that information just by virtue of the fact that they're old. You can also look at the network traffic page, and you can see if you're a giver, not a taker, and you want to see more sent than received. Now, at the moment, obviously, we're higher received than sent because I've just turned Bitcoin on for the first time in a couple of days. But yeah, you can extend this little graph out, or you can wait like 6 hours, and then hopefully what you're hoping to see is lots of red bars, not lots of green bars. So I'm just going to leave that there. I'm also going to hand over to our protege, Ollie. How you doing, Ollie?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. How are you getting on?
Okay, I'm good. So we could start off with the ant miner is actually really noisy. I don't know how it's so noisy. It wasn't as noisy. I haven't had it running for a while. It's used a lot of electric, but
We can't actually hear it, so it's pretty
okay.
good.
It is quite noisy where I am. Okay, so once you actually plug it in, you'll give itself an IP. You have to put an Ethernet cable in. I'm using an Antminer S3, which is a big.
Now, Ollie, is it possible for you to actually show us what that looks like with your webcam before you go into all the technical stuff?
Yeah, I can, but it said when I went to control settings, it said you're a moderator, so I couldn't change cameras.
Oh yeah, but if you just go up to, if you just oh really? So yeah, like up at the top of the screen, you should have a little toggle, like a spanner setting, and if you just choose the camera
Settings. Or settings.
up, yeah, settings, that's it. Just see if
Okay.
you can show us
Oh
what
yeah,
the
logic.
Antminer looks like. It's really cool. Otherwise, I could pull up a screen
Okay,
grab.
there
Yeah, there we go.
we go.
So
Okay.
show us what it looks like. It's up against your window, isn't it?
It's gonna be hard. Yeah, it's over there. Okay, so I'm just gonna get to open the window. Okay.
Okay. And so, yeah, this is about mining with Bitcoin, and we're going to be doing some guides on how to mine using your full node as well. It's up. You're upside down at the moment, Ollie. It
Oh,
means
sorry.
you turn. It's an upside down miner. There you go.
It's upside down
So
now.
down. Point us down. There it is. So next, down. Keep it still. Keep it steady. There you go. That's the Antminer. That's how big they are. Quite big, aren't they?
Yeah, they run 150 gigahashes. No, 400 gigahashes. 400.
Okay. So you keep it on the window to help sort of keep the warmth in the house. Is that right? That's the idea, because it's generating a lot of heat.
Cooler as well near the window.
Yeah, so it keeps the miner cool, but it also stops the draft from getting in during the winter.
Yeah.
Which is a bit more efficient, you know, than just having radiators on, I can imagine, because you're owning bitcoins at the same time. That's the theory.
Yeah. Okay. So the next thing, when you plug an Ethernet cable in all the wires, you can scan, or you can just go to 192 or whatever your IP is to wherever, and then you bring that, like the IP, and then you look at all the IPs. But I'll just scan. I know mine, but so you just scan, and it will give it to you. So once you get that, you just put that in a browser, and here you go. You'll get to here, and it will ask you to put a password in. I'll just refresh it actually. 192.168. And this is actually the whole thing of the Antminer. Going into the settings of the Antminer here, and then you just type the password in. I think a default is, I don't know what a default is, but the miner configuration. So once you actually, start from right at the beginning, you have to turn up to a pool. My one is slush pool, and if you have a look at, I'm going to my dashboard, there's how much they're running per second. It's running at, load up.
Now, the CG miner, that works with all miners, does it? Works with all graphics cards, including your internal graphics card?
I've got it down here. Okay, it's running 190 gigahashes at the moment, but it goes up to about 300 or 400. It's only been running for about 5 more minutes. And so once you first start off, I think you'll get a default called worker 1 of your workers. You have to sign up here. And you just sign up there, but it's log out. And then it's actually changed the last one on here. So I don't know where I'd go. I think you go to, I haven't actually, the last time I've been on here was ages ago. Here we go, add worker, new worker. But for default, it'll be worker 1. Then when you go back to that Antminer pool in the IP, it'll be miner configuration, and you'll put the whole IP. So once, and then you have to go up to help and help center, and then go to beginners and get started. And here the URL of your pool will be here. I would actually suggest slashes pool, and then you put that URL in here, and then the user ID, mine's already cab 1, but your user ID would be there, and then you put the dot, whatever your worker is of your worker, what you've named it. Worker 1 would be for default once you sign up, and you'd put that in here. Then the password, this can be anything. It's just a default random password. This is actually not my normal password. It's just a password that you can just put anything there. Then you go down here. I think you put that to true. I think that was false, the default. But then you put save and apply. I've already done that. And when you go to miner status, it'll be running here 15 minutes, 454 gigahashes per 5 seconds. And alive, they're alive. You can only have 3 running, I think. So now, once I come to here, and once you install CG Miner, you'll get the URL. You have to put in the URL, which is this URL. This is for Windows, by the way. I might do another one for the Pi another time. Then the username. I'm gonna put ollycad. Okay, CAD is my. I'm just put Ollie actually. Ollie. And the password is. It can be anything. I forgot. Yeah, anything. And then once it starts, it will say not found once you plug the miner in. I think. There we go. No, there we go. Look, port 0. Here we go. It's mining now.
Great. Okay.
Mining now.
Great. And show us a bit more of this this web interface that the CG Miner comes with. Or is that web interface that you were on just now? Is that the CG Miner web interface? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
No, it's not CG Miner. This is the actual
Antminer. Oh, Antminer. Okay. I see.
When you log in,
okay.
It says there, Antminer.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So you need Antminer and the CG Miner installed at the same time.
Yes. Well, not really. You don't have to do anything here because it's mining. You just plug it in. It's mining. You don't. All you have to do is go to here and put your information in so it knows where to send it to.
So what's the point in running the CG Miner then?
It's not. I just did it because if you want to, there's a if you have a Antminer like U2, the real small ones that you have for the Pi, that's when you would use CG Miner for.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I was explaining that. So so actually another thing you got to do is go to settings and you put your public key or private key. I don't know what one it is actually, so I'm not going to show it. But I think you go to mining. Payouts, that's it, payouts, and then I think that's my public key. That's my old public key. I think that's a public key of my old one. That's my old address, but I don't use that anymore. But that's what I used. I just plug it in. So you put, I think your public key you put there, or your public key you put there, and then you can put new address there and how much. So this is. Additionally, for once you're mining and you've actually got, it depends on when you want to get a payout. If you want to get a payout at 1 Bitcoin, if you want to get a payout at 0.1, so whenever it actually pays out and goes to your wallet, that's when you would use this.
Okay.
And when you link these, like for the username worker and all that, that's when, because it knows from here that it can send straight to your wallet.
That's great. Okay. And do you need the Bitcoin blockchain to be on your computer in order to do the mining?
Well, you need a wallet, which is the Bitcoin Core wallet.
Yeah, you need that, do you?
Yeah, because we should maybe do another video on it on the Pi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does the Bitcoin Core need to be running, or does it just sort of access it?
No, it doesn't have to be running. No, that's only if you want to look at your Bitcoins.
So it just needs the blockchain.
Yeah, it just needs to be. Well, you can have it anytime. It's like 1 hour down or something, but it won't be. Yeah, it's actually mining Bitcoin, but when it's off, it will be like the Pi when it crashes or something. It won't be mining anything or anything. It will just be no source block or something like that.
Great.
It's mining, it will go down by like 2 hours behind and stuff like that.
Fantastic. Okay, well, that's fantastic. I think what we should do then is another video where we show people how they can use their Fullnode to do some mining. And I'm also announcing, like down in the description below, you will find the links to the core release notes, plus obviously you'll be able to download it from here. I do recommend that you open up this very important file, which is for the checksums, just in case this website gets backdoored, and do check. We'll perhaps do another video showing you how to do the checksums, because that's not immediately obvious. It hasn't been explained here. These developers, they're so smart and they forget that not everyone is as smart as them, or they don't necessarily know all the technical stuff. But if you come down to setup guides of the projects homepage. It's fullnode.protip.is or just github.com/mrchristday/fullnode. It's a bit more to get your head around. You can see I've got a few guides here. So the main guide, if you're an existing Fullnoder and you signed up in the stage 1 of our crowdfund, you will automatically be entitled to a new memory stick. And that is because the memory sticks recently halved in price. So the price of an 8 GB card is now the same as an price of a 16 GB card is now the same as an 8 GB card used to be. They just halved in price since December. And so I did actually get up a few of these 32 GB cards whilst they were on discount in January. And I'm going to be putting all the pledge nodes that go to places like Botswana and Mexico, etc. People there will be getting larger memory sticks than the other ones, just because I took advantage of some offers that were online. I'm also going to be using purse.io in the future as well to get some more. So yes, lots and lots of memory cards, which I will be filling up with the Fullnode OS in the coming days now that Bitcoin is out. There's still one other outstanding issue, which is IPFS. I've been hanging out with the developers in the IRC, but we're having problems at the moment trying to get Node.js working. So it's not actually a problem with IPFS, it's a problem with Node.js not working fully. If I feel that it's going to stall the project too much, what I will do is I will ship the Fullnode OS as is, because IPFS, the latest version, does actually come with an automatic update manager, so you will be able to update it yourselves. I just want to try and make this as nice, as good an experience as I possibly can for everybody. And so, yeah, just to take you back to show you the Fullnode now comes with instructions. So if you've got a Fullnode annual technical and you don't want to necessarily, get an extra memory card off of us, you can simply go to this web page and it will talk you through. Now this is for OS 10, that's just because I'm a Mac user, but this part here will write a Windows version. Ollie already made a video showing how to do this from Windows, but from here on in, once you actually turn on the Pi, this is all the same no matter what operating system you're using. So it shows you all the libraries that you're going to need, and there are some extra libraries that you need. There are also some other differences to 11.2 as well, which is the way in which you do the flags for the database. You actually have to specify with GUI flag now has equals QT4 at the end, or it won't work. So there were some differences to the previous instructions, which I've kept in the repo. I've just moved them to a different place and edited them for Wheezy, and then this will take you through the setting up of the home directory for Bitcoin, which on Unix or Linux, sorry, by a standard is the home folder .bitcoin. The dot means that it's hidden. So as standard, you won't be able to see it. If you do ls command, you'll need to do the flag LA, so ls space -LA, in order to be able to see this folder. Also on Linux, you can just go up to the view menu at the top of the file explorer, and it will also let you view hidden files. You then just go into your FS tab, and then you can add this. Now this number here is the number that most of the nodes, this is the unique identifier number for the memory stick that comes with most of the full nodes. Most of batch 1, your memory sticks came with this UUID, and that's because I did the DD command on most of them. So that will be, if you don't have that one, it's okay. We can help you on IRC. You can go to the GitHub. When you come to the GitHub page, you'll notice at the top of the README file there is actually a link to our Gitter channel, which is where we kind of do tech support. So in the coming days, I'll be hanging out in there and giving people some tech support. So setting all that up, it's all there. This is what you should expect to see. This is how to start and stop the client and so on. Then in addition to that, so here we are. So yeah, where's the link gone to? I don't know what I've done with the link to the chat room. I'll find it again in a minute. Also, we've got these new instructions, which is for the headless node. So if you're an engineer and all you are interested in is just having a Bitcoin server running in the background, and you actually want to do most of the tasks in your code on another machine, and all you want is a dedicated full node running somewhere on your local area network to put in API requests and so on, you can install something called Jessie Lite, which is a lightweight version of Raspbian. It only actually takes up 300 megabytes, so you don't even have to use an 8 gigabyte card. You can use a 2 gigabyte card, I believe, if you really wanted to. And again, just takes you through the process, but the differences are when you come to install, you're not going to install it with, with all of the, the wallet, etc. So that's the major difference there. And these are some instructions here on how to purge and get rid of a lot of extra, stuff that comes with the latest version of Jessie, because it is quite a bloaty piece of new operating system. So if you don't want Minecraft, you don't plan on using your Fullnode to play Minecraft, you can take that off. You can take off the Wolfram Alpha engine, which takes up quite a lot of space. Also, Java 8 takes up quite a lot of space. It also comes with LibreOffice, which takes up, I think, about 200 megabytes or so. So I just put up some cleanups.
I would kind of recommend keeping Minecraft in a way, because there's a few things you can do with Python in Minecraft.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It depends what people want it for. If you've got another Pi and you want to just play on, use one Pi because they're so cheap, just use one for playing games, or use one for Python and use another one as a full node. That's perfectly okay too. And then all of the extras. So there is a problem at the moment with the package manager and Iceweasel. I could not get Iceweasel to install the usual way with the latest version of Jessie, so I did have to troubleshoot that for you so that you don't have to. And here are the instructions for you on how to do that. Here's how to install Tor. Here's how to install the VPN and the Resolve Conf, so you can use it with Malvad VPN. And then here, we're having problems with this at the moment. This is how you install the Node.js if you're using the old version of Raspbian. Here's how you install it if you're using the newer version, but we are having problems with it at the moment. It's installing some Node.js projects, but we cannot get it to cleanly install IPFS Station, and it's probably not a problem with IPFS. It's probably a problem with me, actually, and just not knowing how to do it. So this is IPFS Station. We were showing it the other day, and it comes with this really cool GUI, which I would much prefer to ship the nodes with the graphical user interface for IPFS rather than without, because I think it just makes it a much more pleasant experience. I was showing you the other day this wonderful piece of work by Janine, AppleVsFBI. It's a decentralized citizen journalism, open source journalism, where Janine is basically fact checking, and you're able to see for yourself the facts of the case, and you're able to kind of go through, all the evidence and see what happened and how it all happened. And so that's up on IPFS as well. So we kind of want to break some new ground and be the first people in the world who actually do a decentralized kind of form of journalism and investigation. So
say one more thing about the mining thing.
Go ahead.
So once you start mining it for a couple of maybe a couple of days or something, you'll get like a little reward thing. I haven't been mining for a long time, so there'll be loads of them. So like confirmed, and it'll be going down, like information's going down to 62, then it'll go down 61 and stuff like that, and you'll get rewards. Like I haven't done it for a while, but once I'll show you the last one that I got. Go back. There we go. So number 6, go to 6, 8, 9, 11. There we go. Look, this actually sometimes depends on how long you've been mining, depends on how many you're getting, and depends on your terahashes, gigahashes. Yeah, well, you probably wouldn't have terahashes because that would be loads of money. That miner thing costs £150 a lot. Another thing on the dashboard is that you can see it will actually keep updating, or you can keep refreshing how often that this goes up and down. So 342, so that it keeps going up. I keep refreshing or something. And there's another thing, you see that there going across like that. That once it gets to there, like about another 10 seconds, loaded, it will refresh automatically. And if you see there how many confirms I've done, 0.01 of bitcoins. 1 month was the last payout. I haven't done it for a long time. And that's everyone on the network, PH, before scoring hash rate. They'll keep refreshing. This is quite good, the recent hash rate. So how often people that 550 gigahashes. I'm about here, probably about there or there. Because them little U2 miners, they mine at about 1 gigahash, but mine mine at 400.
100. They mine about 100.
You get them for £15. With this, you get it with 150 for the other one.
Yeah, the little U2 miners, which I've shown before, they're just for hobbyists, really. But what it's nice for is just to give you a few Bitcoins in your Bitcoin wallet so that you can actually start to play around and do some of the stuff like Steve is trying out with OpenProv without you having to go to the hassle of like buying Bitcoins. Sometimes it's easier to spend £15 on online just to buy one of these little USB miners, and then you've got some Bitcoins coming into your wallet. So, Janine, any questions from the troll box? What's being discussed?
Someone was just asking whether Ollie was ever going to be on the Bitcoin group, and then they were I think, because a lot of people end up asking about miners, because I think some of them might think that the full node is a miner, which obviously it isn't a miner in itself, but it can be used for mining, obviously, like the peer-to-peer, what is it, P2 pool? That's mining that can only be run on full nodes. And then obviously the slush fund, or slush pool.
Yeah, slush pool. Okay, so yes, I'm sure Ollie will be on the Bitcoin group at some point. It's actually Tom's show, not mine. So I'm sure he will be at some time in the future. And that's correct, Janine. This is not a miner. These full nodes are not miners. They're just full nodes, but they can be used as miners. In order for you to use it as a miner, you're going to need 3 things. You're going to need a Bitcoin miner. You're going to need a powered USB hub, so that you can plug the miner into it, especially if it's one of those little U2 miners, those little USB device ones. And you're going to need CG miner software. So we will do another video at some point in the future on how to set up your full node as a Bitcoin miner itself. And yeah, then you'll have a nice little compact thing. But really, remember that Bitcoin, the mining algorithm is designed to be a zero-sum game. So any profits that you may see will be marginal. You're not likely to make a lot of money out. This isn't like, earn money while you sleep. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. You're basically there to secure the network and to witness transactions and to confirm the transactions, the economic claims of other members of the network. It's actually more of a janitorial role. That means you're really like a caretaker of the blockchain. Now, running the full node on its own still does help support the network because you're enforcing the consensus mechanism on Bitcoin. Plus, also, you don't have as much dependency. You're relieving the network of dependencies on large organizations which run a large number of Bitcoin full nodes, like the exchanges, like APIs, like blockchain.info, and so on. And those companies are perfectly legitimate, and they're perfectly nice people that work there. It's just that what we're working on here is a peer-to-peer project. And the point is that if you have the capability and you like Bitcoin, really it behooves you to be running a full node so that you can make any kind of RPC requests locally. If you want to broadcast transactions, rather than broadcast it through a centralized API, why not use your own full node? Part of the motivation for doing this is because I myself set up a lightweight Bitcoin wallet called ProTip, and I wanted to offset some of the negative effects of having a lot of these lightweight wallets running around the world that consume somewhat parasitically on the network. And try to offset that with full nodes, and also at the same time try to educate people about them. So yes, it's not a miner, but you can still use your full node for other things. It's got IPFS on there. It's got Iceweasel browser on there. It's a really cool education tool if you've got kids and you want to get them into the latest tech. You want to give them a step ahead of all the other kids in school, ahead of the ICT courses that they'll be taking in their teens. This is a great gift for them because it will enable them to experiment and, like I say, to understand and have something in your hand. There's nothing really beats that. You can't just read about this on the internet. It's something you have to kind of experience for yourself. So
Jean also says congratulations to Ali on reaching his goal on the Indiegogo crowdfund.
Yeah, well, it's me that should be saying thank you to everyone. We will probably do a separate show dedicated to it, but thank you to everybody that supported the Help Chris campaign. Chris there being me, and my health and So yeah, we'll do a dedicated show about that, and thanks to your support and Ollie as well, whose idea it was. Tom kind of came in and took all the thunder with his all his campaigning. He's so good at it, but it was Ollie's idea, and thank you, Ollie, for doing that. Really, really appreciate that. The Indiegogo campaign is now over its threshold. It is an in-demand campaign, which means it will always be there. You can always kind of send money to it, so long as I'm ill, of course. But hopefully I'm going to be able to open source my medical results. I've had another doctor's visit today. We'll do dedicated shows about that. It's a separate issue to Fullnode, but yeah, taking this opportunity to say a big thank you to everyone that supported, and especially Ollie Morris and Mad Bitcoins, the best friends I could possibly have, and Janine, of course, for doing the wonderful job on the Git repo as well. She did a great job on the graphics and the tables and updating everybody and emailing everybody last night and working.
Shani's in the man now.
What's that?
Man. Shani's in the man now.
She's in a what, man? What?
The man. You said best man. Mad
No,
Bitcoin.
I said Mad Bitcoins.
You said Shani.
Oh, did I? Okay. Well, I'll have to edit that out later. Didn't mean to call you a man, Janine.
That'd be right.
So thank you for that, everybody. And yeah, hit us up with your comments. I'm at Mr. Chris Ellis on Twitter, at WorldCryptoNet. Also for this show, and what I'd also like to do coming up will be a higher resolution version, because these live streams are quite low resolution. I'm going to plan to do a high resolution how to set up your own full node using Bitcoin Core version 12. So please hit us up with your comments in the comments section below. You can reach us on Twitter, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.